Welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. Thank you for joining me. Now, we're going to talk about something that a lot of people on the left just are totally, just got the blinders on for. They're totally ignoring it, and they don't seem to think it matters. I talk to people on social media every day, especially Facebook, Twitter, things like that, and they're always telling me that, no, Joe's got this locked up. He's going to win. But the numbers aren't showing that. The numbers are showing quite the opposite. Now, you may not want to agree with it. You may not agree with me here. You may think I'm just totally off base. But guess what? In certain swing states, Michigan, for example, Wisconsin, Minnesota, he's losing the younger vote. The vote that propelled him to the White House in 2020. Now, why has he lost his vote? Well, there's a lot of reasons. I guess you could look into, the fact that he hasn't really come through on student loan forgiveness for all students as he promised in 2019. Right? There's that. There's the fact that he hasn't done anything on gun control, really, to seriously, do anything about gun violence in this country. But the one thing that is pressing the most right now is the genocide in Gaza. Joe Biden wholeheartedly supports this genocide. People can sit there and tell me all they want. Oh, he's sending aid. Well, you know what? If we stop sending money and weapons to Israel, guess what? They won't need the aid in Gaza. They wouldn't need it in the first place, now would they? That's the problem. And a lot of liberals that I know, they don't understand. They don't understand that they're losing that vote. I got a lot of people, turning a blind eye, just like they did with Hillary back in 2016. When she stopped going to Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Ohio, Pennsylvania. And she lost the election. People told me that I was absolutely crazy. That I had lost my mind that Trump could win that election. But all I did was look at the polling numbers 2 weeks out from that election, and I knew Trump was going to win. 2 weeks out. Why did I know that? Because the numbers for Hillary were sagging up in the Rust Belt, and she wasn't taking her sweet ass up there. She had this pipe dream that she was going to be able to save Texas and other southern states that don't give a crap about liberal policies. That don't care about her, didn't care about any of that. And those same liberals that told me these things in 2016 are sitting here now telling me, oh, the young people will show up to vote for Joe Biden. Who else are they going to vote for? Nobody. You don't seem to understand how the next generation coming up doesn't care about your politics. What they care about is the fact that there's almost 40,000 dead innocent civilians in Gaza. Over a third of which are children. These younger people, this younger generation, the Gen Z people coming up to vote, they don't care about your established politics. What they care about is the lives of other people. And people are like, well, why do they care so much? Because they do. They've grown up with so much. Remember, a lot of these people coming to age now and getting to voting age, right? They're a post 9/11 group of kids. All they have seen is war. All they have seen every single day on the news is another mass shooting at a school. All they see on the news are children being blown to bits by American bombs. And America not doing a damn thing about it. We stood right up for Ukraine, as we rightfully should have. But where are we for the Palestinian people? I understand Hamas did some terrible things on October 7th. Nobody is denying that. But it also doesn't mean that you have to literally obliterate 40,000, almost 40,000 people. You don't have to commit a genocide. And if they were actually just going after Hamas, guess what? One, there wouldn't be over, almost 40,000 people dead. There also wouldn't be people starving, an imminent famine. These things wouldn't be happening. But I'm seeing reports now that people in Michigan, especially the younger people in Michigan, are turning their backs on Joe Biden and will not vote for him in November. All you have to do is take a stroll through TikTok and pay attention to how many people are using the sound from Macklemore's new song about Palestine. There's a line in that thing where he's like, "No, I won't vote for you, Joe Biden." And a lot of them are using that clip. Let me tell you, these people don't care. I've been trying to beg them, literally, to not stay home in November and vote for Joe Biden so we don't get Trump. And a lot of these people are members of the LGBTQ community that I've come across. And they understand how bad it will be for the LGBTQ community if Trump is elected. But they also understand how bad it is for the people in Gaza right now. Democrats need to come together and tell Joe Biden to stop this war. People can sit there and tell me that he can't unilaterally stop it, but he can. All we have to do is stop giving them our money, our bombs, and other weapons. That is literally all we have to do. And the war would have to stop because Israel wouldn't be able to fund it. But this isn't just a war, it's a genocide. They're not just trying to root out Hamas, they're trying to kill every single Palestinian they can. I don't care what anyone says. They aren't doing a damn thing to protect the lives of the innocent people in Gaza. The people in Gaza are just as much victims as those people that were killed on October 7th by Hamas. Yes, at one point, the people thought that Hamas was going to be a good political group for them in Gaza because of the constant attacks from Israel. But you know what they learned after that? They ended up being ruled by tyrants. Sure, they're trying their best to keep everybody fed and clothed and housed and everything. But they never let them vote for new leaders. Once Hamas took control, that was it. The average Joe in Gaza had no say in what they did on October 7th. The people that did are the ones that aren't even being killed. The only people being killed right now, for the most part, are innocent people. I think they said maybe from what I've read, they've killed like one or two, top leaders in Hamas. One or two. What's the point? But Joe Biden is going to lose this election. Especially if he doesn't, do a quick 180 on the genocide going on in Gaza. I thought we were headed the right direction a few days ago. But now the White House is saying that they don't believe these states that are, calling for statehood and supporting statehood for Palestine. And they've got a few states, Spain, Norway, and Sweden, I think. I can't remember the third one. But there are three European nations that are now saying that they recognize Palestinian statehood. What did the U.S. say? What did the White House have to say? They said we shouldn't be doing that unilaterally. But is that not what the U.S. did in 1948? In 1948, before anybody else had decided that they would, be for Israeli statehood, the U.S. jumped in and boom, said we recognize Israel. But we can't just step up and say, hey, we recognize Palestine as a sovereign state. Palestine is recognized by over 140 UN nations. We're one of the very few that don't. Now, I understand that we have our issues with terrorism and things like that. But you want to know where a lot of the terrorism that's pointed at America comes from? Our support of Israel in the killing of innocent people. Now, terrorism is something I studied. That was one of the things I studied in college. It was something that just was interesting to, the dynamic of how it happened. And it took me years to learn that, it doesn't just happen in a vacuum. People don't just wake up and say, oh, right, they're terrorists. That's not how that works. Typically, it takes something happening to them to get them to go that direction. And I can tell you right now, what are you going to do when you're a father and a bomb comes through your window and kills your wife and your child? What do you think you're going to do? You're going to be angry. You're going to be enraged. And you're going to be willing to do anything to take revenge on the person or persons that did that to you. Now, there are some people that really have no legitimate reason for what they're doing. And what Hamas was doing wasn't legitimate either. Because they're just killing to kill. But you can understand, though, how they would have voted for Hamas in 2008? 2006, something like that? Or they never got to vote again, but they thought they were going to help. But like I said, Joe Biden is going to lose this election because he just can't help himself. He can't stop himself from supporting Israel. Like I was saying earlier, a few weeks ago, we thought he was making a good headway because he said if they attacked Rafah, they wouldn't send any more money, no more bombs, no more money, no more nothing. But guess what? They've been bombing Rafah nonstop, and we're still sending them money. We're still sending them weapons. And that is going to cost Joe Biden this election. Now, before somebody watches this video and thinks, oh, you're just anti-Semitic, no. That's just not the case. All you got to do is check out the videos on this channel on how much I support the existence of Israel. But I don't believe they should be able to commit a genocide and get away with it. My issue is not with Jewish people. My issue is with their leadership in Israel. Just like back in the Iraq War, when the U.S. invaded Iraq in 2003. Did I support it? No. Did I support our government for sending our people there? No. Did I hate all Americans? No. Did I hate all the people of every country that joined the coalition against Iraq? No. Did I hate their leadership for doing it? Yes. 100%. So it is very easy to be able to divorce a people from its government. Currently, I don't like what Joe Biden is doing. But I like a lot of his other policies, so I'm going to vote for him most likely. Now, it doesn't matter one way or another if I vote for him or not, because I live in Oklahoma. There is 0.0 chance that Biden wins Oklahoma. That's just how it is. So if I stayed home in November, it wouldn't have an effect on anything. But if the people in Michigan and other Rust Belt states Michigan, especially, and say even over in Minnesota, because in Minnesota there is a large Palestinian, if not other, Arab, people from the Arab world there, and they vote, and they're going to vote for what they're seeing happening to their family and friends in Palestine. And that's how they're going to vote. Or how they're going to choose to stay home because they won't vote for Trump. And how do we know that Joe Biden will likely lose this election? It's because even Trump realizes that Biden has lost the vote of Arab Americans. Just how it is. He sent people up there trying to recruit them and found out they're just not going to vote. So he can't get them to vote for him, and Joe Biden can't get them to vote for them. So they're probably going to if they vote, they'll vote third party. Cornel West, things like that. Jill Stein, the Russian asset. Or they will stay home. Michigan, in November, kind of cold. Can be snowy. So they're going to stay home. Why get cold? Just to vote for somebody that's going to send another bomb that might kill your family. If you have family over there in Gaza. Keep that in mind when you're talking to people out there. We need people to vote for Joe Biden. Why? Because it's going to be a lot worse under Trump. As I've said before, Donald Trump, when he was running before, said very clearly that if there was a major war between Israel and Gaza, he would send American troops into Gaza to help Israel. Now, I can't seem to get people to understand that he has said that. And now he may have walked it back since, but he walked back a lot of things. He said he wasn't going to do tax cuts for billionaires. Gave tax cuts to billionaires. Said he wasn't going to attack the LGBTQ community. Within 1 week of taking office, he had already had briefs sent to the Supreme Court stating that he believed gay people should be able to be refused housing and jobs just because they're gay. And then he does all this stuff, acts like he wants to do one thing, then within a few days he'll flip on it. So keep that in mind. If you're watching this video and you're thinking of staying home, especially in those swing states and those Rust Belt states where it can be very important that you vote, consider the fact that Trump is a liar. And almost any time he has said something and then took it back, he has done just that. I remember him saying that he would send troops into Gaza. And then a few days later, that was retracted. Or he walked it back and said, no, I didn't mean that. It was a staffer that said that. Yeah. It's going to be a lot worse if Trump wins this election. And sadly, it looks like he's going to. Anyhow, y'all have a great day. I'll see you down the road.